Alright, guys, we actually have stuff to talk about this week, so stay tuned. Saune and I are going to be running through all of the news that came out of ArenaNet, and trust me, there has been a lot. A lot of stuff is coming out of the China release that people don't realize, so we will be getting that all that information to you, so stay tuned. That was the other video that I was using for the sound, but hello everyone and welcome to episode number 96 of the Chronicles of Tyria podcast, a Guild Wars 2 podcast for fans, by fans. Do I sound excited? It's because I am, because we actually have stuff to talk about, and as you can see by my lovely updated background and the sort of white canvas that's happening right now, I'm joined by Saune, so welcome.
Hello!
And she's already started drawing, because that's how we roll here.
Mustn't waste time, because I'll end up having to stop when we start talking.
Yeah, last time we almost didn't make it. I had to try to draw that out so you could finish drawing up hashtag Ella's butt. Anyway. So, thank you to all of you that are watching live. We've got some old friends that we haven't seen in a while, so welcome back, everyone. If you're new and you're watching, welcome aboard. Hopefully you enjoy.
We don't scare you away.
Yeah. So I actually did go out of my way quickly to find the reviews on iTunes. I found one, and again, if you do listen on iTunes, I need your assistance, because to look up something on the iTunes store, you need to look at a specific country. You know what? Hang on. Let's how are you doing, Saune? How are you? Well, I'll show everybody how this works.
Okay.
Just for fun.
I'm good.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Excited?
I'm glad you remember the iTunes things, because you yelled at me. He yelled at me.
I did.
He was mean, because I was supposed to remind him, and I didn't, because I had only just gotten home too, and normally he's at the gym right before the podcast, so I didn't think to poke him.
Nope, she don't listen.
So, yeah, and apparently it's all my fault that he almost forgot the iTunes.
I do. I blame her completely. So let's here we are. We're going to, well, you guys can't see this because this is an awkward angle. But anyway, we're going to iTunes, right? So we're going to the Chronicles of Tyria iTunes page. Now, right here, you guys can see that that's a review. Right? You guys can see that? There's a review right there. It's from last year. Now, if I scroll down to the bottom, you see that tiny little Canadian flag in the bottom corner? That means that this is the Canadian iTunes store. So then, if I wanted, and I won't do the whole thing because it'll take forever, I have to click on the little Canadian flag, and then it'll take me to this other page where you can choose from any country that iTunes supports. So let's say I wanted to see who liked us and reviewed us on the United States. I'd then have to click on the United States. It reloads the entire store, then go up and search for CoT Podcast again, then go to the reviews, then look at the reviews. So, essentially, what I'll have to do is do that for every single country in the world that potentially listens to us. So I don't know what countries those are. I've checked the UK, I've checked Canada, I've checked Australia, and I've checked the United States. But if you are in a state or a country rather, that's not on that list, just send us an email and let us know so I know where to look. Because I know there are a ton of other countries out there, but I don't know where you guys are listening from. So, anyway, that was my little rant about working through iTunes.
Yay!
Anyway.
I have being a jerk. I'm not allowed to talk anymore or chat because it's not loading the chat.
Oh.
I refreshed and it just, yeah.
Well, last I saw in the chat says I died on #Alu's butt.
Okay.
And that's the last thing that I saw. So, but anyway, we're gonna keep going. We did have a question of the week last week, actually, which is, what do you think ArenaNet is waiting on? AKA, why aren't we getting an announcement about GW2 content progress? Or when do you think we'll see the living story start? I like to think because we called them out in our question of the week that's why they responded on Tuesday with new information. It's all us. You're welcome, Internet. Now, obviously, that wasn't the case, but I do think that they had probably been getting a decent amount of heat from the fans because people were starting to get real antsy about not having any information of any kind.
Oh, yeah, the forums were just... The Living Story forums, the first page is nothing but, like, is there something coming? Well, we're bored, so let's tear apart number 1, and let's tear apart this potential number 2, because, well, we have nothing else to do, and, oh my god, it's the Scarlet Returns, blah, 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 and look at this leak, and, oh, totally, spoiler alert, things we should already know if you have half a brain and actually watched the end film and stuff like that. So, yeah.
Okay. Well, we have some responses. We have one response directly to that, and it is, hold on to your #Alu's butt, because Alu put a hell of a lot of text here. Tori G, she's calling you out, bro. You better step it up.
She's taking your spot, man. Taking your spot.
She is gonna rival you, so here you go. Starts off, wall of text incoming. That's the understatement of the season. First off, I want to start by saying how spoiled the Guild Wars 2 community... Oh, we're starting off on a great note here. How spoiled the Guild Wars 2 community and players are. Most games, we don't see new story-related content for even a year, but we are so used to our living story now that no matter how much we complain about it, we sit on the edges of our seat expecting more to fall into our laps on our schedules. That seems to be no more than a month or two for us. Look how great we've been having it. Yeah, okay. We must remember that we are still getting in-game content and changes. All this takes work on their end. If we sit down and look at everything they've been doing since March, we can understand that they have had a lot going on right now. On that note, we're demanding dates for the possible releases of Living Story, and people are getting really angry and upset about not having one. I don't think they have a date yet, and I think that's why they are silent. They can't say, at the earliest or latest, we'll have it by the end of the year, because with everything that's been going on, they probably haven't even had time to get an estimate. They may not even have enough made at the moment to even think about putting it out. We forget that the process isn't a straight line to release. It has to go through many groups of people to be created, and then many more to be reviewed, and possibly back to the first people to be revised, and then we have people testing that when it finally gets through. This is for several different things: story, gameplay, art, music, terrain, modeling, just to name a few that we can assume they'll have to have develop and get the okay on first. If given the choice, I'd rather have a completely cohesive story and gameplay this time over them setting a goal for themselves and then there's a chance they may not make it. I want them to take their time if they're going to see new maps, or if we're going to see new maps, to make them as interesting as possible. We know if they say at the earliest we'll have it by September, then when September rolls around, no matter if it's September 1st or September 30th, they will then have to deal with people who are getting angry because they said September. Of course, said people won't have read their statement correctly, and it's not out yet. This will probably have customers leaving out of rage due to a simple misunderstanding. I think it's wise to avoid that, and they'll probably know it as well. Someone mentioned reading up on software development effort estimation. Article. I did a little research on it, and estimation is a lot more difficult than a lot of people give it credit for. I recommend reading into it a bit if you're interested in that sort of stuff. And we all know ArenaNet's ways when it's ready. Why are we expecting to get more than that now? We waited how many years for the Guild Wars 2 game? We've waited nearly 3 months for the first bit of Living Story with no clue at first it was ever going to happen. I think we can wait a couple more months to know what happens to Tyria or when things will happen to it. It's like waiting for that sequel to a really good book. We wouldn't normally get angry at the author for not giving us a clue when it's coming out, when the last one just finished, and they've released some majorly requested stuff after that as well. We wouldn't want to rush them, right? And if you're bored with the game without the updates, by all means take a break. Find something else to do in the meantime and come back to play when there's more content. That's the beauty of a buy-to-play model that Guild Wars 2 has. We paid for the game, and they are kindly giving us extra on top of it for free. Expansions worth of content. Rejoice and be patient. I know that we are all just excited to battle another dragon, but let's not turn excitement into anger and impatience. As for when it will start, I honestly think it will happen in just a few months. Not soon, but not far off either. Mostly when they've had a couple of months to stack up on some resources and finish writing up the story. As we know, we like to have multiple parts / patches in store and not just the one they release at that time. This link to a dev comment pretty much sums up why they can't give us a release date yet. Let's see. I'll read that right now. While we'd love to give you a time and date when we're sending out the potato. Oh, this one, the potato one. Remember that during the development process, we may discover that a baked potato would be even better. So instead of getting the potato of your dreams, you end up with something completely unexpected. It often happens that a mashed potato with gravy is even better still. Unfortunately, gravy requires more dev time. So we end up shipping a mashed potato without gravy to meet our promise of ship time, or we push back that time and date of when we are shipping again and again. You get your mashed potato with gravy, but it's delivered much later than expected. Worst of all is when we realize that potatoes are way too mainstream and that yams are where it's at now. And I think we all know the reactions seem to go when we ship yams instead of potatoes. So in a lot of cases, the best way we can do is to tell you we're still in the kitchen cooking things up, we're reading your feedback, and we're getting excited to get the meal out to you soon.
Okay.
Oh wait, and is it soon TM?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And then this is just the last little bit. I also really want them to do a big update first thing to live up to the hype of the players, just so the rest of us won't have to hear on the forums and comments and Twitter will fill up with disappointed chatter. I mean, I'd enjoy it, but I'd also be able to enjoy a small update that starts off slow. They seem to be making an effort to at least keep us entertained with festivals in the meantime. Thanks for taking the time to read all of this. You are welcome. I don't have any water.
I always fetch my water.
Yeah.
I lost my chat.
I have some other weird drinks down here, but after drinking that bacon soda, I'm not going to try them. These are more shipped from the lovely Willow Chanson, who sent me death by bacon soda. I have other things that she sent me, but I'm wary to try them. Guess what, guys? If you thought that one wall of text was good, guess what? There's two.
Alright. I'll take it while you rest your throat, I guess.
Sure. Unless you want to keep drawing, I can go through it. It's up to you.
No, that's fine. I'll make you read the rest then. How's that?
That sounds good to me. Go ahead.
You'll have to post all the links, because I can't, because my chat is completely gone.
Yeah,
it's gone.
That's fine.
Hello fans, Lex here. Just wanted to post something. I was kind of thinking about the awesome possible implications of Guild Wars going to China. So, here we go. With the release of Guild Wars 2 in China, a new chapter of awesomeness, all caps, in the story of Guild Wars 2 will be opening. Now, there are many implications. Oh my god. Implications when it comes to gameplay, player base, and the economic factor that Anet has been working so hard to keep balanced. However, there are other more lore-wise aspects that probably haven't been brought to mind. I honestly can't remember where I read it, so please forgive the lack of quotations, but I read somewhere that NCSoft didn't want Anet to include any reference to any Asian-themed art, which is why the only Asian reference in terms of art has been seen at Dragon Bash Celebration weapon skins, and in the few houses in Lion's Arch that had the usual gold, green, and red color scheme so closely related to ancient Asian culture. That is also why we haven't been getting anything on Cantha whatsoever, other than a few mentions here or there. Now, here's where it gets interesting. According to the way they announced the new unity with Guangzhou, it could be interpreted that they will be working together on GW2 period, not just GW2 China. That is good news, but it gets deeper. Did you notice the decorations for the upcoming 4 Wind celebration? I mean, yeah, it could be paying homage to the Chinese coming to the community, but what if it meant more than that? What if it meant that now with China coming over, they could get back on the train and allow Anet to reintegrate the Asian nation Cantha into the game? What if this was the beginning of the new season of the Living Story? If it was so, then I smell a lot of awesome new things coming to our beloved game, Guild Wars 2. What could this mean? Well, for starters, Cantha, we would be able to jump into and explore one of GW's more interesting places. But also, there's a race that wasn't included in the 5 playable races in the release of GW2, but was by no means omitted in the game, which was done with the Forbidden. I'm talking about, in my opinion, the avian counterpart of the Char, the Tengu. Their story is very tied to Cantha, and it'd be no surprise if they started tantalizing with the idea of adding them as a playable race now, which would be awesome. Also, that would mean new dungeons, enemies, renown quests, weapons, armor skins, possibly, and considering GW1's Cantha, Monk as a new profession, and many other awesome additions to the game. I may be getting overly excited here, and the truth is, it seems a little far-fetched, but they have surprised us before. I don't think that they'll stop now that they've partnered with Guangzhou. And then he lists a whole bunch of references.
Oh. Okay.
Go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
I'm assuming that you're linking them, but his references just point to the successful GW2 launch in China, the wiki about Cantha, and Guild Wars 2 Guru topic about Chinese New Year and Cantha, which I forgot to check before starting.
That was from last year, that link. So I think this was just way, like, super speculation, but
good on you for citing your sources.
Yeah, brought up a lot of good points for sure. I mean, you know, just to not to be too nitpicky, but again, there is Tengu in Krita. There were Tengu in Krita in what's called in Prophecies, and they are there in Guild Wars 2 as well. Yeah, I do think that the game coming out in China and, you know, new developers and things like that definitely has a chance to. I mean, a lot of people, we'll get to it because we have the videos and things like that. People are just, I mean, people love Cantha, and I understand Cantha is my favorite campaign in Guild Wars 1. what got me started in the game in the first place. I just don't want to get way overhyped myself because,
That's the biggest letdown, is if you get overexcited, and then it's like, it's awesome, but it's not as awesome as in your head, so then it sucks. I've done that a few times. It sucks.
Yeah. Alright, so we'll move on. Now, we have YouTube comments. Those were emails. Email and a Facebook message. Now we have YouTube comments from Levi M, which this one, the girls and I talked over, and it's super duper sweet. This is in reference to Lag and the Ladies #2. You lot know the meaning of having a good time. It's a real pleasure to follow your adventures. It's a real shame EU players can't join your guild. I'd certainly love to. To clarify, EU players can join Chronicles of Tyria. However, you cannot play with anybody on North America. We do have a couple of players in the guild that are members. Obviously, they're in the guild, but they are EU players. Fornax, for instance, is an example of the Crichton Herald, who you may remember we interviewed a while back. She is an EU player that's in Chronicles of Tyria. Unfortunately, again, she can't join us for anything in-game, like dungeon runs or anything like that, but she is in the guild. So if you would like to join Chronicles of Tyria, the guild, you're more than welcome to.
Keep Fornax company!
Yeah, I mean, there may be others as well. She's just the one that sticks out to me. Also on Lag and the Ladies #2, we got a very recent comment from Emily Orange. I wished you named the episodes Spike Fruit Cartel. So easy, so beautiful. I don't know if you meant the entire series or just that episode. I mean, if we have clever, quirky names to call the episodes, I would do that. I just don't want to. I was just naming them the way I was so that it was fairly structured rather, and people could find them easily. Let's see. Jexos on the Let's Learn #22. This is the Alu's Butt famous episode. Miniskirt is too OP. Nerf it. And then what else did we get? From, I guess it's Fad is Action. Anyway, this is the person that we reference very heavily in the beginning when we're in Yak's Bend. Says, aw, so cute. Was a pleasure to meet you all. Hope to run into you sometime. Happy hunting. I have a few questions for you. What does and this is the second comment. What does CoT mean? Are you all recruiting? My wife and I play GW1 together. We don't really care for GW2, and yes, miniskirts are very, all caps, OP. And then a tongue out emoticon. Again, I will comment on the actual YouTube comment, because I don't know if you'll be watching this, but CoT stands for Chronicles of Tyria. Yes, we are openly, we're not recruiting per se, but joining, it's open. If you'd like to join the guild, you're more than welcome to, in both Guild Wars 1 and Guild Wars 2. Guild Wars 1, we play, at least the group of us plays once a week. We do have members that pop in pretty frequently, but we don't have a huge player base in Guild Wars 1 anymore. We have thought many times about trying to do a Guild Wars 1 event once a week where everybody goes back and we try to like run, dungeons and things like that, but kind of it's always fallen through the cracks, but maybe we can bring it back. I don't know. Oh, look at this. Mr. Robovin, my buddy who I haven't seen in a long time, who's watching live. Well, now know Alu has it going on in all the right places. Laughing my ass off. Have to make hashtag Alu's Butt a trend. Good job, Saune, and good show, both of yous. And this was in reference to the 95th episode of the podcast. Same one.
The Alu's Butt podcast.
Yes, the Alu's Butt cast. OMG made me laugh a lot. And Soya, that was from Michael Ramirez, and Soya says, something big is coming. Only thing we can hope from all the silence from Anet. Everything we ever complained they heard and are making it reality. Ah, such bliss. A Tengu Ranger finally. Ah, so awesome. And iTunes. This was from Bravenclaw on the United States iTunes. I'm not going to go into that again, but I like that these guys play the game and love the game. It's always entertaining to listen while playing the game. Much thanks. And you, sir, are very welcome. Assume sir with a name like Ravenclaw. Let's see. There it is.
This will be the one time you're horribly, horribly off with the genders.
It's possible. It wouldn't be the first time. Okay. Now, it's time for something super awesome. We have our shout-out section, but I think it's this. Boom! Check out that image. My friends, that is a custom-designed piece of Chronicles of Tyria art built by a very talented artist, as you can clearly see. You might even think that that is a piece of Guild Wars 1 concept art created by the Guild Wars 2 concept artists and the whole team. But no, this is created by my good friend and fellow Guild Wars 2 player, Vasburg. That's Vasburg. That's Vasburg on Twitter, or Vasburg.com, which I will clearly link in the description. And again, this is leading up to the shoutouts, but I just wanted to leave this up on the screen because how beautiful is this?
It's so awesome!
He approached me and said, you know what, I would love to, do you guys need any art for anything? So, you guys know a bunch of times I've mentioned I'd love to have, like, transition cards for different parts of the show, like shoutouts and mailbag and, you know, whatever else. And he said, is there anything you need? And I said, I could use these. And he said, done, got you covered. So, check that out. He's helping us out. And, we're gonna be seeing some more art from him in the future, so please go check out his website. There's a blog on there, his Twitter account's on there. You can check out some of his other art. I'll link again. It's also thatvasburg.com or thatvasburg.blogspot.com. I'll also link that. You can check out some of his other concept art, some of his character-based drawings, some logo type stuff. His DeviantArt is also there, and again, I will link all of these things in the chat right now. I'll also link them in the description. There's some Guild Wars 1 stuff. I saw something for the Echavald Forest. Plenty of cool stuff. So please go check him out. Show him your support. Tell him that CoT Podcast sent you. And we will be using more art like that in the future. So be on the lookout.
Yay!
But anyway, I set up that whole long intro for shoutouts. Well, now it's time to actually do the shoutouts. So, Saune, how about you?
I have a shout out that's long overdue to our buddy Anavari. Anavari, we failed, sorry buddy, to make a proper announcement. He's actually the writer of our webcomic, No Gathering Tools Equipped. It's fantastic having him on. I know I love his story. He's also a regular writer for CoT. And, yeah. Shout out to you, buddy. It's great working with you.
Yeah, and just in case you were wondering, I obviously have my fingers in a lot of things, as you guys all know. So we have Saune.
Never.
Yeah, and Saune obviously is very busy as well. She's the artist for the comic, again, if you didn't know, and Navri, like, her and I developed the beginning few comics, and, you know, kind of set some of the, you know, and obviously two of the characters and things like that, but Navri is really kind of taking the story now and in the plot where it's going, because it's, you know, on plot, and, I mean, if you really love the stuff that Saune and I did together, don't fret, it'll still be around for gags and things like that, maybe a handful of episodes here and there. But, yeah, he's super awesome, and he's definitely helping us out a lot by making sure we get our scripts done, and Saune can have stuff to draw. And, yeah, just be sure to keep an eye on it. That's every Wednesday we release a new issue of the comic for New Comic Book Wednesday, because we're trendy like that.
Is that actually why you picked Wednesday?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Because new comic books come out on Wednesday. Duh.
That's really cool, and you're crazy nerdy.
Did you not know that?
No.
Yeah, new comic
Why
books.
would I know something like that?
I don't know. Because you're an artist? And I feel like it's an arty thing?
No, I've never been that coordinated. And
Whatever.
I'm just razzing you anyway.
Well, it's because every Wednesday I'm at the comic book store buying new comics. So I'm like, wouldn't it be cool if our webcomic came out the same day that new comics come out? Yeah, that's right. Anyway, my shout out goes to another lovely Guild Wars 2 podcast by the name of Relics of Ore. I'm sure some of you know them. They've been around for a while. They're just ahead of us when it comes to episode count. They're in the one teens, I guess, 100 and like teen-ish, 115, I want to say. And the other day we were just kind of having a back and forth, some of their members and I, on Twitter, and somehow it developed into well, they're doing SPVP tonight. I want to play some SPVP tonight. Let's have a podcast rumble of Chronicles of Tyria versus Relics of Ore. So we did. I will link this.
Who won?
They did, but I blame Anavri.
You're so...
No, the link there, I actually have video footage myself, actually, we streamed it on Twitch, so the video should be up here. I plan on posting them to YouTube so you can just get our perspective, and you'll have their perspective from the videos that are up there as well. The last match, it was a 2 out of 3. They won 1, which was close. We won 1, which was also close. And the final one, they just destroyed us. But Anavri lagged out and wasn't in half the match. So we were playing with 4 players. And that didn't work so well. So...
I'm extra glad that I gave him a shout out then, because that would be really awful with your anti-shout out.
It's alright. It's, you know what, we couldn't help we had a couple of people were having trouble, there was some lightning storms, and, you know, I think we had one person that had only played SPVP once before, like the night before was their first time, so I'm happy with the way things turned out, given the team comp and the experience level and things. So, but anyway, you want to check that out, and in the meantime, check out Relics of Ore. Also, if you love doing 2 things at once, you can jump on over to the MMORPG.com Twitch channel right now and watch the MMORPG / Chronicles of Tyria / Sitting on a Couch podcast. And Casey is over there right now covering the PvE side of Guild Wars 2 with the guys from MMORPG and Sitting on a Couch doing the competitive side of things. So feel free to check that out as well. You can get 2 Twitch streams going, and obviously we're cooler, but you can listen to them too. No, I'm kidding. They're great.
That doesn't totally confuse you.
Yeah, you know, if you're multi-talented, you can do that kind of stuff. Go for it.
I can't even watch YouTube and listen to you.
Well, that's because a lot of the times the things you're watching on YouTube is also me talking, so it just gets confusing. So
I start yelling at you, and you have no idea what I'm talking about.
Yeah, no, I know. I've been there. All right, let's serious it up. Let's real talk here for a sec. Account security.
Yes.
Big deal. Some fairly high. I don't know the specifics. I saw there's some back and forth, but 2 of the high-ranking members in TTS, the big world boss destruction-based guilds, 2 of their accounts got hacked recently. There's an audio file floating around on the internet somewhere when it happened, like the meeting where everybody was discussing things as the shit was hitting the fan. And I don't know, I heard some back and forth. Maybe it was a coup, maybe it was a legit hacking, I don't know. But what I'm going to post right here is a link, and everybody should read this whole article if you haven't. It's a post on the forums. It is everything to do with account security for Guild Wars 2, the increased efforts that ArenaNet has taken to make sure your account does not get hacked, 2-factor authentication, the way hackers get into your account, things like that.
Why they get into your account?
It looks like you put some, what's it called? You put some other stuff in there. Do you want to talk about what you put in there?
Yeah. As you read through there, ArenaNet has pointed out that, I mean, like, a lot of games in the past have said, like, yeah, we'll be very secure, blah, 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 blah. But then things like, WoW, like Blizzard, they had huge hackings going on and a massive loss of security and whatnot, and it was kind of all swept under the table. And ArenaNet has promised us that if they notice any sort of insecurity in their system, they will immediately notify us. And this link that I have added to here explicitly shows them doing what they have promised to do. They notice something is weird in their system, and they are telling us what it is. Someone received an email full of links from Guild Wars 2, and they were asking ArenaNet, basically, via the forums, if it was a legit. Everyone was all like, no, because Guild Wars 2 doesn't send active links in their emails or anything, so it's totally fake, just delete it. And then finally a dev posted, and it turns out it was legit. There's something weird going on, and he already put it to his security people.
Mm-hmm.
That, here we go. I followed up on this question the instant I saw it. I'm sorry for the confusion. I learned this afternoon that the email probably did come from them, that it's been looped to their security lead and marketing team. They're the ones that handle the email submissions to deal with this. Because the thing he was concerned the most is not just the verbatim, like the verbiage, but also the fact that there are 3 links in the email, and apparently they never, ever put links in the emails. The reason for that being is if you need to go somewhere that requires you to log in, you should be going to your web browser, to the forums or whatever, and logging in directly from there and not through some redirect. Because that's how phishing works, is they redirect you to something that looks like the secure site, but it's not.
Yep. Yeah, a lot of people post this on Twitter and everything. Read the whole article, know it, understand what's going on, and change your passwords if need be. Because it's not worth getting your stuff stolen.
Yeah, it takes a long time for them to ArenaNet to fix it, and usually what will happen is you put in the ticket and whatnot, and then they can do a rollback, but they have to do it manually, and they can only do it once ever.
Yep.
And when it happens, they just roll back to whenever you put whatever date you requested it, like the last known secure time, which means that if you've succeeded in, like, okay, you wiped out, you got nothing, you're playing, you drop, awesome! They roll back your account the next day. You no longer have that precursor because you've been rolled back.
Yep.
There's nothing that can be done about it. You just have to deal with it. And so, just to all of our viewers and whatnot, just remember to keep your accounts safe. Avoid links in emails, especially ones that you're not entirely certain about. This will crop up a lot more. I think the reason why we're seeing so much transparency about it right now, it doesn't seem, based on the conversations that I read, that we've hit a peak so much as it's just becoming more noticeable to us. But with the new China market, gold sellers are going to be looking to harvest profit from the new player market. So what they're going to be doing is basically gold sellers, they have to get their gold from somewhere. That's what these hacked accounts are about. If they're going in, they're clearing out the gold so that they can sell it for real money for people who would rather do some illegitimate means. So basically, if you aren't buying gold from these gold sellers, if everyone would stop buying from these gold sellers, they would stop hacking accounts. Because there's no profit in hacking accounts if no one's buying their quote-unquote products. So, yeah.
Yep. Alright, let's move on to some news. I will post both of these links. You know what, actually, let's start off with this one, because it makes the most sense. So, this is the big news that everybody was very excited for. It's the festival, prepare for the Festival of the Four Winds. As part of the celebration of our launch in China, we're holding an in-game festival that brings back some of the best-loved Living World content. The Zephyrites have returned to the labyrinthine cliffs to do business and trade their goods, and Queen Jenna has reopened the Crown Pavilion. Experience the joy of movement as you harness the power of the Zephyrites aspect crystals, or put your battle skills to test in the Crown Pavilion in Queen's Gauntlet. Get ready, the Festival of the Four Winds begins on May 20th. And there is a video right here. Oops, you don't need to see me. Turn that off. Oops, not that. Hide that. There we go.
It's a super short video.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it looks good.
So that is the short video that has everybody freaking out because of all the stuff that you can see in the background. You can see all the very oriental Chinese kind of themed things. You see paper koi, and you see paper lanterns and dragons, and you know, all sorts of craziness. And that they've, like I said, they've announced the return of the Queen's Gauntlet. And every day, Anet has been releasing what I'll be posting right now. There's 2 links there, which are these photos that are showing off the champions, kind of the information on, what's it called? Showing off all the information about the character, like, you know, their fighting stats, like their height, their weight, what race they are, what their personalities like, their special attacks, etc. So they've released 8 so far. So far it looks like everybody's returning, or there's a lot of returning characters. We don't know if there'll be additional ones added, but we shall see. So there's the Gauntlet information, and I totally... oh, right, so Saune, you had posted some stuff.
I did.
The China launch, yeah.
Okay.
So skip down to your thing, let's talk about that.
Yeah, that video.
Oh, the video I just posted, or just watched?
No, it's the China music video.
Oh, the music video. Yeah.
Which you don't have to put on. It's really cool, but it's kind of long.
Mm-hmm.
Oops, that's the wrong button, and that's the wrong. There we go. It's such a cool music video that completely melds the actual singer with Tyria, so it looks almost like she is in Tyria, which makes me stupid jealous that we didn't get really cool media like that.
What do you mean? We had that awesome live action commercial, 2012. That was so bad. You remember that video? Did you ever see that? Oh, you might not have seen that because you.
What are you mumbling about?
Did you not see the live action Gw2 trailer?
No.
Oh. Well, it's probably better that you didn't, because it's awful. You know what? Let me put it up. Everybody, to this day, nobody knows what it was about. Because it makes no sense. You know what? We're gonna put it up, because in case you forgot about this, Guild Wars 2 players, let's remember about how awful this thing was. Oh man, advertisements! I love it. Thank you, YouTube. There we go.
Well, I'll have to get it from you later.
Yeah, well, you can watch it. You don't need to hear it because it doesn't make any sense.
Oh, okay.
I don't even know if there was. I can't remember if there was. Oh, there is stuff, but we were getting still images of parts of this every day, and people were like freaking out about what it could be.
A shadow has gripped the land, and we have stood by, paralyzed by fear and doubt. us who dream of a better world. The time has come to open our eyes, to rise up and join together. To reclaim what is ours. And declare with one voice, our time is now.
Just in case you all forgot about that existed, because yeah, it makes just the most sense.
The ending! Now I understand where that came from, because that's actually done in the music video. But the Chinese did it way better. But they really like to mesh the real life with their video games, so I think they just have a lot more practice with it.
Dude with the paint, his respirator and spray paint, not even actually painting the wall because it was CG paint. I still go back to something that I've mentioned countless times on this podcast. How come we don't have that tattoo style in game yet for the Norn?
We do.
That exact one? Are you sure?
Yeah.
I don't think we do.
We do.
I don't think we do. I think you're crazy.
We do. It's the women. It's a 100% pure face one. And why is this not working? It's the very, 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 very last Norn female face tattoo. I think it might even be by itself on the very last page.
I don't know.
It is there.
Maybe I'll believe you after this, but we can look at that later. But anyway.
But it's got no body aspects to it, which is weird. We'll convert to a path. What? Why are you not working? Like, why is this not working?
I don't know. I don't know what you're trying to do either, so...
I'm not even sure I know what I'm trying to do anymore.
Alright. No, it was a girl, Alu. You're right.
Right. The finishing of my... Yeah, for the Chinese one, they basically translated the end roll credits, which is, it's a beautiful, beautiful song. It's a song you only hear at the end of the personal story during the credit roll. And she does a beautiful job singing it. And I am stupidly jealous. They redesigned our bazaar to be totally Chinese. It is so Chinese. And then they get the cool video, and I feel so just...
Yeah. Just because I'm me, real quick. These are Norn female tattoos. This is from the wiki. Got scene tattoos coming through. There's all the faces. Every single one. All the options. And there's that one. According to the Gw2 wiki, it's not in the game. But
it snuck in after the fact, though. It wasn't at launch.
I don't know. So far, I'm just saying. I'll check after. I got an empty character slot. I will check. But
It's there!
I mean, me and Alu both are agreeing that it's not there via the wiki, but that's fine. Whatever. We'll continue on. That's not something to get hung up on. Yes, the music video. I believe it's just Fear Not This Night, but it's in.
Yeah.
So it's awesome. But to key off of your talking about the launch in China, this happened, which was pretty crazy stuff. This.
Which one's that?
Attended. This is information from someone who attended the China Beta Festival. Here's some pics took at the event and some lore info. I'm going to talk mostly about the lore stuff because there's some interesting things. But for the Festival of the Four Winds, for Chinese players and anyone coming in who missed Living Story Season 1, we'll have opportunities to get guaranteed rewards from past Living Story events. I'm guessing things like the gas mask and the molten gauntlets, gear from the meta achievements, rare drops from Living Story Past. Monocle and molten backpack will not be available for NA/EU, but might be for China. We'll have secrets and teases for the upcoming Living Story Season 2 events in the Festival of the Four Winds. There's some Sylvari information. They have a fully functioning digestive system, which most of us knew. Their nutrition comes from food, and they poop mulch, basically. In case you ever wondered what Sylvari poop was, it's mulch, I guess. Something similar to mulch.
That's hilarious.
Photosynthesis is like a meditative supplement, which we kind of knew from the novel, that it doesn't necessarily make them... They can't survive off photosynthesis, but being in the sun does improve their mood. They can mate, but they can't reproduce. They don't have hearts, but they do have sap running through them, equivalent to our blood. Maybe that has something to do why they can't be corrupted. Maybe it has something to do with the heart, and they don't have one. I don't know. And then something I've been waiting for almost my entire life of Guild Wars 2 is, why are we in World versus World? There's a little bit of lore behind this. A little bit. Not a lot, don't get too crazy. So the mists are proto-matter. Everything that has, does, and will exist is made out of the mists. The mists have a memory, both past and future, which is shown in PvP stuff and fractals, etc. Tyria exists. Tyria has multiple worlds, but not like a traditional infinite multiple world setting, where there's divergence based on probability. Example, one universe where Snaff is dead, another where he isn't. There is a set number of versions of Tyria, and that's the servers, Tarnished Coast, Blackgate, Gate of Madness, etc. Each server is another version of Tyria or world that exists within the mists. Player characters are unique to every world. There are no alternate versions of player characters that exist in parallel worlds. Important NPCs, however, Destiny's Edge, Keel, Magnus, Scarlet, are constants across all versions of Tyria for a reason that is not yet clear, which is interesting, because they call that out specifically. World versus World is where all of these different versions of Tyria fight each other for resources in their own respective battles with the Elder Dragons. The borderlands and such are literal borderlands between different versions of Tyria. As said before, the mists hold memory of the past and future. These memories include possibilities or potential energy of what can happen in the future. An example of this would be the Infinity Ball in the Asura personal story. The alternate version of the player character that invades isn't actually from an alternate reality/world, but from a potential future that exists within the mists. The vast majority of the citizens of Tyria have no knowledge of the multiple worlds because they already have too much to worry about to be bothered with it. Mist warriors who participate in the Mist Wars, however, will have some, albeit very limited, understanding of it. So, some pretty interesting lore stuff that we're getting this late in the game. So, every time you run around Caledon Forest and you see mulch, don't pick it up. You don't know where it's. You don't know if that's. You don't really know what it is. Just be careful. Our peers will have so much fun with this. I need to do some landscaping. Did you need some mulch? Because I can help you with that. Good. Anyway, the.
You know,
Go ahead.
No, I'm yelling at the canvas. It's okay.
Oh. Probably the biggest overstatement I've heard in a while is the incredible new items in the gem store.
Carry on.
New mini Arctidus Cub, which is adorable. Lawless boots and gloves. Nah, I could live without them. The witch's outfit makes a return. Again, as we kind of predicted, that all the outfits are going to slowly start to show up since they can be used with the wardrobe now. The Lion's Arch commemorative dies are leaving. And a big one that sort of snuck by under the radar that not a lot of people noticed. They're going to be removing Sclerite and Winter Weapons from the Black Lion Specialist. They will no longer carry those skins anymore. So they each, I think, Sclerite items cost 3 tickets, Black Lion tickets, and Winter's Weapons cost 5. If you go and get them currently, they will permanently be removed, so you will have skins that you cannot acquire at all in the game anymore. Therefore, meaning the price of them will probably rival the Halloween 2012 skin price on the trading post. So be on the lookout for that. That's also why Black Lion keys were on sale last week, but they kind of just didn't mention that. Like, that was the reason why, was to try to get tickets that you can get these skins before they leave. Personally, Sclerite skins, I could live without them. They're kind of meh. But the winter skins, I wish I'd gotten them back in the day, you know? Uh-oh. Alicardalene is telling me you're correct. I don't want to hear about this. I'm always right.
What?
I'm assuming she means about makeover kit with the tattoos.
Yeah, that it's in the game.
Female Norn tattoo link is missing 2 tattoos, one of which looks like the one in the video. Okay. Well, whatever. Based on, you would think the Wikipedia would be up to date. But anyway. Thank you, everybody. We've seen a lot of people pop in now towards the end here. But that's okay. We still have stuff to talk about, so you didn't miss everything.
Other than Son, like, flipping out.
Well, you know, that's a thing. Son brought this up. I will post this here as well. Let's see. We have... this was just a kind of random sort of one-off article from Massively. And it said that Festival of Four Winds arrives on May 20th, yada yada yada. We'll get the opportunity to help rebuild the beloved city of Lion's Arch that was destroyed by Scarlet Briar in Season 1. Future game updates will be synchronized across the eastern and western regions so that they will launch within days of one another. So there's talk about, are we already going to start rebuilding Lion's Arch? People... I did not... Sorry, I'm jumping back and forth. So many things in the chat. They're not permanently gone. Okay. Hunter's Insight. Thank you for watching, by the way. We've had some back and forth on Twitter, so awesome. Welcome. Saying that the skins, they're probably not permanently gone, but they will be off the vendor for quite a while. Long enough, I wouldn't even hazard a guess at bring back date. Oh, Curtis Johnson, the Anet dev. So there you go. They will be back maybe, but so far off that it's probably unlikely. And Wolfie, GW2, did I ever post a blog of the Harry Potter party? No. But I have all the pictures taken and I know what I want to say, and my website is still in alpha phase, but I'm actually possibly realistically, hoping to launch it tomorrow. Because I want to review Godzilla when I go see it tomorrow night. So I'll put that.
Don't spoil it for me.
It would
Godzilla.
It would be spoiler free. I'm not a jerk.
Godzilla.
But anyway, back to Guild Wars 2. No. Just I can mute you. I don't know if you know that, but I can mute you so that no one else can hear you, and I'll just pretend like I did on Lag and the Ladies. I'll make up your voice. Hi, I'm Saune.
That was the best sign-off ever.
Anyway.
You were so manly.
Besides the point. Guys, I lost my train of thought. Anyway, if you remember the Festival of the Four Winds last year, there was all the events around promoting Ellen Keel and then promoting Evan Ashblade, but that kind of thing is gone now. So a lot of people are thinking that might have something to tie into rebuilding Lion's Arch, because the whole reason the Zephyrites were there is we were trying to secure a trade agreement with Lion's Arch. Lion's Arch is now destroyed, so maybe the Zephyrites are going to help us rebuild Lion's Arch so that that whole contract that they put the time and effort into getting actually will mean something. You want to talk about super upsetting. I'm going to link this, and we are going to look at this together as a group here, because so we saw this way back in the day, that there was going to be 8 different craftable backpacks in China. We knew there would be these 8 different backpacks for getting that each of the crafting professions could make. Well, now we find out, now that the China game has been released, there are 6 unique backpacks per crafting profession that each, cooking, armor smithing, whatever, there are 6 different back pieces that can be made. So if you look right here on my screen, are you following along either way? These are the 6 that you can get for armor smithing, right here at the top. Then down here, this is artificing rather. You get all these cool potion bottle backpack. Here's your cooking back piece. It's all different foodstuffs. Here is your huntsman back piece with your sticks and your tubes and things like that. Here's your jeweler back piece. Looks kind of cool. Turns into like a jewelry box. It's all glowy. Here's the leather working one's awesome. You can get like a bear hanging off the back of your thing at the highest level.
Oh.
Here's the tailoring one. And then finally is the weaponsmithing one, where you get the cool kind of anvil chest thing going on. But
not fair.
Yeah, how come they get that and we don't? I wish that was a thing. And again, that's another reason to enjoy crafting, because you can get all these cool back pieces, as you craft your way to
exclusive back pieces too.
So, Aster says, some of them look very practical. I always wanted an anvil hanging from my back. Yeah, right? And Robopin, that's strength training. Yeah, seriously. Get your DBZ on with your weighted training clothes. Are you okay?
I'm fighting with my program.
Alright, well, we're gonna keep moving on.
Please do.
Well, we're coming sort of to the end here, but it's been a while, ladies and gentlemen, because we've had a lack of content, but I don't know if you know what time it is.
Yay!
But I know what time it is. It's data mining time, but I probably should have put up the image first. There you go. Boom.
Data mining
It's
time.
data mining time.
Data mining time. I need a Saturday morning kids cartoon theme for that.
Honestly, I'm just thinking. Also, I don't sound too loud, do I? Because I'm not sure where my mic is.
No, you sound normal.
Okay. No, I just want to get the sound of the just you mining a node in Guild Wars 2, just the clink, clink, clink when the image comes up. But anyway, I will link this from the legendary That Shaman via Reddit, and we will also go through this stuff live here with you. Here we go, over here.
I guess I should open up the link, because I can't. Okay.
Well, first thing he shows is dragon armor. So here's a new, it's very low-res textures here, but this is male. You can see it's kind of got a dragon on the shoulder here, so some dragon armor. I totally closed out of that link, but that's okay. We'll bring it back. And then here's the back of the male dragon armor. You see the whole dragon over the shoulder. Again, human, female, not exactly as cool as the male one, but you got the cool. Get your Daenerys on, with your dragon wrapped around your neck. This is a huge one. Is all these spear type items appearing in the game? Spear and pole arms, and I'm not going to go through all of them. There's different variants of different kind of spears, and then there's a gallery of 16 different banners. And some of these look familiar to almost the guild symbols and things I remember from Guild Wars 1. But there's all these different banners that you can get. There's a tiger, there's a phoenix, some flowers. What they're used for, I don't know. What their purpose will be in the game. I mean, that could be China only things, but it could be Festival of Four Winds things as well. And then here's the Zephyr Sanctum stuff. And again, I won't click through all this. We kind of knew about the Dragon Finisher for a while, and the Dragon Mini Pet, which you can actually see in your Collectibles tab currently. Here's the Canta style ship that we saw. We saw some of that in the trailer. And again, I won't go through all this, but here's a kite, a dragon kite, which maybe we'll get the return, because we did get kites the first go round in the first time the Zephyr Sanctum showed up. There's some candle. Here's a canvas dragon candle. Gw2 the Incredulous. Let's see. Here's a thingy. What's a thingy? Oh, well, here's a thingy. But
I think that might actually be the official term.
Yeah, I think so. But anyway, there's lots of very interesting. Here's a jade fish. There's paper fish. You guys get the point. There's a ton of Canton, could be Canton themed. My thought is the story's gonna be the Zephyr Sanctum. They left, and they've been in Cantha all this time. For the past, I guess, almost a year. They've spent time in Cantha, and that's how they'll have all these Canton kind of themed items to sell and all the merchandise. And a lot of us again are assuming that because last year we had the traders and the merchants that would accept your Zytaffy and your candy corn and all that stuff to get you the fortune scrap bags and things like that. And now they're expecting that the Blade Shard merchant that we heard would be in game will be coming in this patch, which honestly just makes the most sense.
Yeah.
So if you held on to any of your Blade Shards, now is probably going to be the time to trade them in. So that was it.
My theory with all this Datamine stuff is that it is all stuff that's coming with the Czar, because if you look at the video really closely, you can see a lot of the things like the kites and the all the different flags and whatnot actually appear in the video as part of the new decorations.
Yeah. So now the spears are interesting. That could just be like ceremonial spear like decorations. Like posted around there, which would be unfortunate. But maybe we'll see. Like, if you remember, there was the kind of mini game almost where you it wasn't a mini game, but you went in with like Evan Nashblade or Ellen Keel, and you fought the bunch of waves of Aether Blades to get tickets, and you could get achievements and stuff that way.
Oh yeah.
Maybe there'll be like a cool new a mini game type thing where you throw spears at each other, or like a javelin toss. Maybe that'd be kind of cool.
Yeah.
That's something they could do, and it would put spears in the game technically, but not really. So, and yeah, I don't know what I expected from Thingy. So, so we are getting very close to running out of time, so you better get drawn. I know you're having some trouble there, but we are just about out of topics to discuss.
That's okay. I'm just about done enough.
Okay.
This is only a draft, and I'll explain why it's only a draft. So,
okay. Well,
later.
We have our craft corner again. Once, just something, I'll put this out there as well. Once a week on the podcast, we like to highlight some of the creative talent in the Guild Wars 2 community, whether it be art, whether it be knitted little quaggins, which seems to be a pretty common thing, whether it is cosplay or concept art design or what have you. We like to showcase one person a week here on the show. If you'd like to have your stuff showcased, feel free to let us know where we can find your stuff. As it is right now, it's kind of between Saune and I going through the Guild Wars 2 fan art, going through Reddit, going through DeviantArt, going through Pinterest, just trying to find cool Guild Wars 2 stuff. So I will link this right now, and then I'll show you our craft corner for this week. Centurion, it's your highness now, attributing Brimstone. Did you have any particular reason why you picked this one?
Because it made me laugh.
Oh, right.
And it's so totally, I can totally see outfits doing things like that. I mean, really. But it's because it made me laugh.
Alright. And this looks like this is isriana.tumblr.com is where you can find her all of her information. She's a self-taught digital artist and fantasy fan from Finland. So awesome. I'm just looking at her little picture over here in the corner. That looks like a Norn cosplay to me. I don't know if that's true, but that's what I'm gonna say it is. So awesome. Check out her art. If you look here, I think a bunch of this art is also her style as well on the Guild Wars 2 fan art. But be sure, is this her? This was her, wasn't it? Yep. I did it for my achievements. It's also Isriana, ISRIANA.deviantart.com. So you can check out all her art there. Again, if you go and you follow her, or give her a watch on DeviantArt or anything like that, just be sure to tell her that you learned about her from CoT Podcast. We like to get our networks going, and we obviously love artists here at Chronicles of Tyria. Art is a big part of who we are, and
that's me. That's me.
So we like to promote everybody. So Saune, it might be Skyrim, but I'm gonna pretend that it was a Norn cosplay because that's what I want it to be. So what?
I just realized I broke something. It's okay, carry on.
You sure?
I can't fix it, so.
Oh no.
Oh.
Well, I think that's pretty much it for us here today. We ran a little bit longer than we had been, but we actually had stuff to talk about this time, so go figure. Your hand-drawn K that's something special.
Maybe I should go into the final copy.
Anyway, why don't you explain a little bit about this drawing and explain why it's a draft and things like that.
Okay, this is from the last Let's Lore that we recorded. I don't know if it's the one live yet or if it's coming out soon.
It'll be coming out tomorrow.
Okay, there we go.
Like 8:30 a.m. Eastern time.
I don't keep track of this stuff. I just make sure I show up on record day. Casey's character is Sally Sword Swinger. She sings her sword, swings her sword. I don't know the exact song. But she was in the middle of this swarm, and she realized that the rest of us had thoughtfully pulled back and we're all doing range, so she was stuck in the middle of the swarm, and she suddenly realized that she was doing 0 damage to everything, and then she came up with like the best saying ever. Because she had set up Sally Swordswinger to be a tank. So Sally is all tank, no spank.
Yes. So you'll hear this saying be uttered live, or not live, but as it's happening naturally if you watch the Chronicles of Tyria Let's Lore. It'll be episode number 23. It'll be going up tomorrow here on our YouTube channel. It'll also be posted at cotpodcast.com, where we do post everything that we do there as well. If you don't want to watch it on YouTube, you can watch it linked to YouTube there. Or if you want to listen to the podcast, just the audio of that, you can download it directly from cotpodcast.com. But yeah, I think that is going to pretty much sum it up for us. Unless you have anything else that you want to mention, Song.
Don't steal this idea. I want to make it into a t-shirt for us to sell, you guys. Yes. If you watch the episode and you actually miss the Tank versus Spank comment, it's promptly followed by me lamenting, saying, hey, that would be a great t-shirt idea out loud.
Yeah.
So you'll probably catch that much.
We are planning on reopening our Cafe Press store with non-copyright stuff, because we'll get some stuff. Nice. We'll get some stuff from the webcomic up there. We're working on a couple other stuff, things behind the scenes. Oh, this is something else I wanted to mention. I said I was going to put it up today, and it's just not going to happen. Our resident economist Pirate made another updated Guild Wars 2 gold making video. I think it's a 3-part series that he made, and I'm going to upload that to our YouTube channel as well. I just didn't have time to do it today, so I will be downloading that and uploading that soon, so be on the lookout for that. You can feel free to subscribe to us on YouTube. You'll get the emails when we upload something new. And that should do it. Sometimes we stream random stuff on the weekends or during the week, like we streamed our fight versus Relics of Ore. The best way to know when we're going live is to follow us here on Twitch, and then you'll get an email every time Chronicles of Tyria goes live with something. So yeah, there you go.
Yay!
So I think that's pretty much it. So for the 96th, we are only 4 episodes away from 100. For the 96th episode of the Chronicles of Tyria podcast, I am Lagman.
And I'm San.
And we will see you next time. You always have the best dancing gifts at the end.
I'm gonna have to start getting more.